I now call this meeting to order. It's 5:21. Everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we'll be taking roll call.
So, Mia's not here. Do you want to take roll call?
Sure.
You can go down. You can ask everyone to say their names. Write it down. I mean, you can write
I
it
have
down.
the names. I can say it. Mia Isabella, Carlota, Leo,
Here.
Damien,
Here.
Alexandra,
Here.
Jose, Jasmine,
Here.
Cicely, here. Victoria, here. Andrea, here. Mia Castillo, Vivian, here. Charlene, Daniel,
Here.
Leila,
Here.
Alexandra, here. Yeah. I think that's it, right?
We have one.
We have a quorum. Next up, public comments.
No.
No public comments. Moving on to the agenda, presentation and possible action by the Laredo Animal Care Services staff and Torrey Lax facilities.
So I'll pass it to you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome all to the Animal Care Services. My name is Manuel Gonzalez. I'm the operation manager. As right now, I'm the acting director. My responsibility here is the coordination of the staff, policies, budget, and all that boring stuff. I have my staff here. It's Rafael Solis, is an ACO. Cindy Villanueva, ACO, and Jessica Flores is our rescue specialist. They're going to be giving you a brief presentation so you can have a better picture of what we do here.
Good afternoon, guys. Let's start.
Let's introduce ourselves again to what we do. I'm an animal control officer. Cindy's an animal control officer.
What does it mean to be an animal control officer?
What do you guys think we do out in the
Have an
field?
idea of what we do.
Stray animals.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
You control animals, like that are misbehaving, like that.
Like when there's a complaint in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we attend to all sorts of complaints, all sorts of calls, whether it be animal cruelty, neglect, abandonment, aggressive dogs, dog bites, welfare checks, illegal vending of animals, livestock.
Wildlife.
So any type of animal that we go to these types of calls. Not just picking up strays. I know a lot of people have a misconception of what we do, but we're code enforcement officers. Animal control is an enforcement division, so we enforce against anyone who's cruelly treating animals. So that's what an animal control officer does.
Okay, what comes after graduation? Do you guys have an idea of what you guys want to do after you graduate? Yep. College? Everybody?
Yeah.
You guys are smart. Okay. These are the careers we have here. So it's the director, right now the acting director, the shelter operations manager, which is also Mr. Gonzalez, the animal care clinic supervisor, which is the veterinarian technician supervisor. He's right now working in the back. Animal control officer supervisor, which he just said. But this is our field supervisor. So he's the one that pretty much, it's a supervisor, then it's a field supervisor. He's in charge of
The field, so anybody has any trouble or someone's giving somebody one of our officers a hard time, I go and see and I can assist in anything, whether it be an assistant with an animal or with people who might have the questions, pertaining to animals or the do's and the don'ts.
The administrative assistant, animal control officer, which is just me, Program coordinator, rescue specialist, adoption specialist, vet technicians, dispatcher. We have a dispatcher for us for animal control, the clerks in the front, and the kennel workers. Okay? Okay. Animal control officers. Yeah.
You need to be an ACO, high school diploma. There's a certain courses and exams that we have to take and keep up with through our time here. It has an ACO test. It's an exam that every animal control has to be. They have to have that certification to either give citations or handle animals, aggressive animals, high-risk animals. So there's a certain have to go through certain trainings, qualifications.
Okay, so we pretty much explained to you guys what we do, enforce state and city ordinance, attend, citizen calls, almost an everyday thing. We get calls to dispatch or 311, and they just, put the complaints of what's going on, aggressive dogs, strays, anything like that. We have 5 different species of high-risk animals. Does anybody know, like for rabies, high risk for rabies? Does anybody know what 5 high risk for rabies? No? Raccoons is one. No, possums. The contrary, possums are immune to rabies. Bats, yes, that's another one. 3 more bats.
Dogs?
No,
No.
3 more.
Swans.
Yes, that's another one.
Deers.
No. Coyotes and foxes. Those are the 5 high risks for rabies. So just remember. If you see it, don't get near it. All right. The ACO performance for 2023. This is what we've done in the year of last year. Given 1,344 citations. We did 11 seizure warrants. Confiscated 68 animals, including livestock, and we did 11 arrests. And these are pretty much some of the cruelty calls or neglects that we've gone to. As you can see, this dog is pretty in bad shape. The horses, the dog's ears, you cannot, cut off the dog's ears like that. You can't alter the animal at all. And this is one of the calls that Mr. Solis went to.
Let me just specify the citations. Why we get out citations? So we attend, like I said, cruelty calls, but a lot of people mistreat, neglect their animals. Some of them don't have proper food, water, or shelter. Most of them are not even vaccinated as well. Some of them are kept in cages or tied their whole entire life. So we go out to these calls, we investigate, we ask for proof of vaccination, see how long the animal's been this way, or we'll go again to the car, to the address later during the week to see if they made any efforts to change the animal's living. Sometimes they don't, so that's when we issue our citations, food, water, shelter, proof of vaccination, if the animal's not being cared for or picked up after. So there's certain ways for criteria for people to keep their animals, not just having it healthy. It eats, it has food and water, but sometimes the living conditions isn't the way they're supposed to be kept. Maybe they're tied 24/7. So those are some of the citations consist of.
Does anybody know what a proper shelter for an animal is? No? A proper shelter for an animal has to have 4 walls, right? Of course, it can't be touching the floor. Because sometimes when it rains, what happens? The mud and everything, the water gets, stuck in the bottom. And of course, it's moving. Okay, that's a proper shelter for an animal. Like in these pictures, you see, the dog is just in really bad shape. The hair is matted and everything. This was a hoarding case where there was about, how many dogs were in this case?
It was 25.
25 dogs in one property, so it was really bad.
What do the majority of the citations tend to be? Like within like a week or more?
Most of the citations, when there's a dog fight, that's some of the citations. Last year with Spencer.
Well, most of them are for running at
large, dog bites and vaccination. When the dogs are out of your property. So just remember, whatever, if you have a dog and the dog is out, or whatever the dog does, you are responsible for that. So.
And how do people report their
Issues, they can give us a call here to the shelter or call 311.
Or the police department if it's a serious thing. You get a lot of calls from the police department too.
Some of the other animals we've captured, as you can see, the skunks, the raccoons, the black indigoes, the rattlesnakes, you can call them monkey guys. That's pretty cool. Bats, the five-guinea pigs, or raccoons. And then
What do you do with them after you capture them?
Release them.
we release them back to wildlife.
Respect.
Like the monkey's not allowed within city limits. Wildlife is not allowed in city limits, and livestock is not allowed in city limits.
Is that the monkey that went to the conservatory or something recently?
Yes, I think that was it, right?
Yeah, is it the last one?
First
Yeah.
one, yes.
The first one. That was the first
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that was one we brought in here.
So those animals are not allowed within city limits, I believe. Like, you can't.
According to the city ordinance, so having wild animals inside the city ordinances, inside the city is against city ordinance. Can't have any wild animals, like, say, foxes, monkeys. We even got a tiger one time, so those animals are not inside the city.
So like with these animals, do you just throw them outside city limits and just in the wild, or do you try like giving them to other people like in the ranch?
So mostly the animals that we relocate are possums, raccoons, some skunks, foxes, snakes. We'll just relocate them we drive outside city limits for say 10, 15 miles, and sometimes we try to locate them near a water source, a lake or a pond, so they can have something to drink out of.
I know you said that you once had a tiger right here, or?
Yes, we confiscated one 2 years ago. It's a prohibited animal, so they're not allowed either.
Do you have a picture?
We didn't put it here. I don't have one on me right now, but
We have it on Facebook.
Where did Tiger go?
we relocated it.
It's actually in the zoo that's here, the one, the safari. It's in there, that's the one that they took it.
Can you do this in front of me?
The monkey went to the, all that,
It was close, sanctuary close to Austin, I think.
the sanctuary close to Austin.
Yeah.
Are dog fights common in Laredo?
We haven't gotten one. I haven't been a part of one. I
Rooster
know
fighting.
just rooster cockfighting is a common thing that we hear, but I haven't experienced it. Roosters are also prohibited animals. Roosters aren't allowed within the city. So you have a ranch outside the county, not in the city.
What about the people who do rooster fighting? Like, you know how they get money and they have a rooster fight? Like, if you were to find out about that, like, would they get like a warrant or anything?
Well, we'll pursue legal action against them. We'll speak to an investigator, get the police involved so we can, go
About,
people.
yeah, about the situation. Okay, so. The veterinary technicians, which is the vet techs, so what the veterinaries do here, the vet techs do here is pretty much every time we bring an injured animal, they're the first ones to check the animal first, they give the medications here. They're the ones that also check all the animals here, vaccinate the animals when they need, a follow-up. They help the vet, also the veterinarian, whenever he comes here and, sterilizes the animals too. So they also, play a big role here with us too, especially because the animals sometimes come in really sick. So that's what they pretty much do. They're the backbone of the shelter here. And I'm gonna show you guys now a picture of our vet techs. So here are our vet techs working.
Some of them run tests on them to see if they have any humans. So
Any diseases or anything.
Is this a no-kill shelter or do you euthanize?
Unfortunately, we are a euthanization shelter.
we pick up sick and injured animals, and sometimes some of these animals are on the verge of dying, and we can mainly we have to.
What about when they get like a bit too old or they haven't been adopted for a long time?
Well, we have an adoption division here at the shelter that's dedicated to finding them homes that would be a rescue, adoption, foster. So we try our best. The department tries our best.
They do travel a lot.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but every time you bring in an animal, part of what vet techs do and what you all do is you test, you screen all the animals for any sort of like disease or anything that can then be transferred, and that also helps you make a decision as to like what animals, how you mix them together. If some do have to be euthanized, that's what you also at times also find out and stuff. So they don't just euthanize at random. There's a process to everything that happens.
Correct. Honestly, we're gonna have a transport, right?
We have a flight transport tonight, and we have about 50 cats leaving and 30 dogs leaving tonight at 2 a.m.
Where do they go to?
This flight is going to New York and Canada. And then among those is mama with kittens, and then dogs of all ages and sizes. So they usually don't. People think they only take like the small cute puppies, but we only have, and I'll show you some of our large dogs that have been here a while that are given a chance to find a home outside of Texas.
And locally?
Locally, it's usually like adoption, so anybody who comes in can look at what we have available for adoption, and they have the option of foster to adopt or adopt the animal, even foster. Because like with our rescues, the animals will be here for at least 2 weeks. So we need fosters to come in, they'll foster them till they're ready to leave, and they'll help them get used to the home setting. So by the time they get to the rescue, they're going into homes. So by the time they get to the rescue, they're already like settled in, they're used to the home setting and all that stuff.
And is it a paid adoption?
Adoptions are currently free, and it includes everything. We provide vaccines by our vet techs, microchips, sterilization, and everything that needs to be up to code with the ordinance.
What happens whenever an animal has a contagious disease?
It depends. Like this temper, it's highly contagious. Unfortunately, we do have to utilize to save the other animals and not contaminate everybody else. We do have parvo, which is also contagious among puppies. We do try to treat those. So most of the time they do come out of it, but if we see that unfortunately they're not making it, then we do have to euthanize. But other than that, like there's other diseases that are usually fixable with antibiotics, and we do treat them with antibiotics.
And that's when the kennel workers come in with that question. The kennel workers are the ones that, be in the areas where these animals are. They have to disinfect very good for a new animal to come in, So pretty much the kennel workers may assist adoptions or the clinics with the vet techs also. They can assist them if needed. They maintain all traps, crates, and carriers clean and in good conditions, of course. They collect all feeding and watering bowls. They feed the animals, they clean their buckets, they clean their food bowls. Everything has to be disinfected and clean for the animal to keep on eating and everything else. So pretty much this is where the kennel workers come in to disinfect everything with, for that animal, so they won't get infected with anything or any sort of disease like that. Okay. So here are the kennel workers. They help also with rescues. So they're everywhere. they're everywhere on the shelter.
People around.
Help people around when they're looking for a dog that's lost, or when they want to adopt a new dog. Pretty much, they're the ones that show those people looking for their animal or looking for a new animal around the shelter.
Do you accept volunteers?
We do accept volunteers, yes, but
You have to be over the age of 18, unless you're a high school senior, then that's the only way. You just fill out a waiver and then you come at your own time, at your own pace. You want to come for an hour, you can do an hour. You want to come a whole day, you're able to use that your own hours.
We're gonna get these waivers.
With the ladies in front, but the clerks, but they're not in today, but before you, we can get you a copy of the community service or the volunteer application. That way, whenever you're ready, come in, bring your ID, whatever you have as an ID, and then you can start at your own pace. But a lot of this volunteer stuff, it's more hands-on, like washing bowls, sweeping, mopping. Unfortunately, you all can't interact with the animals, but it's what it is. We'll serve people, we'll put the food in the bowls, give them water, anything that's more hands-on with like cleaning and feeding the animal.
Is the volunteer the same formula that they do to these volunteers with the city?
Yes. Okay.
They've all already done it.
Oh,
Here, actually.
How closely do the ACOs work with law enforcement?
Every day. Every day we work with the police or any other law enforcement agency. They need assistance with aggressive animals, or they're reporting on a cruelty. Maybe they don't know as much as we do that pertains to animals, so we'll go and assist and we'll help them on almost every day.
So are you part of like the dispatch that they have, like for?
No, they have their own we have our own dispatch. Usually they'll call our dispatch, and our dispatch will let our animal control officer know where in the city it's happening, because every animal control officer is assigned to a district. So wherever the crime is happening, they'll assign the animal control officer every day.
Yeah. We're on call also, so if anything happens, you guys can also call PD and they'll give us a call. Okay. The libraries team.
And I think all of my coworkers, they bring in the animals, and that's where I come in, which is the rescue specialist and the adoption specialist. Everything they bring in that's healthy, friendly, and adoptable and rescue, then we try to find a place. Adoption is mainly just here in Laredo or Honey, and you can live in Zapata, Austin, anywhere, and you're able to adopt from our shelter. I, as a rescue specialist, I work with a lot of rescue organizations, which is in Laredo, outside of Laredo, in Texas, and we have rescues up to in Canada, Utah, Wyoming, New York, that they pull a lot of our dogs from the shelter. A lot of the dogs that come out, the dogs and cats that come out of the shelter are usually released through rescue. So the shelter highly depends on the rescues pulling from our shelter. They pull anything from kittens, dogs. I've even rescued horses. One of the cases in Mr. Tony's confiscated some horses. We found a home for it. The tiger as well. That's how it went through us. So anything we've had rescued pull sick animals. We have a close rescue who pulls parvo. And you know what? We'll let them know that these puppies have parvo. When you take them, and then all you have to do is transport them to the rescue organization. We've had animals that are positive for the FIV and POV, which is for cats, that make them least likely adoptable, but wherever they're going, they have like a program for people who are okay adopting FIV or POV positive dogs. Cats. Even with the dogs, there's dogs that are positive for like heartworm, Lyme, Ehrlichia, and Plasmosis. They're least likely to get adopted here in Laredo. There's rescue organizations that are okay with taking them. They'll treat them and then find them homes in their rescue organization. So everything, maybe anything that comes in, that's where we have to work to find a place for it, so they have a chance of finding a second.
Is housing space something you guys struggle with, or is everything like pretty?
Yes, we are a high intake facility, so we're always at full capacity, so we have to be moving fast to get animals out. So let's say tonight we're gonna release 50 cats, 30 dogs. Best believe those dogs can fill up tomorrow. So that's why we have to be moving fast paced. We encourage adoption, we encourage fostering, because it opens up a kennel for somebody else to come into that kennel, to be given that chance to be adopted or rescued.
Opens up one foster kennel.
You can come in, fill out the adoption application, the foster application, just bring your ID, a utility bill, doesn't have to be in your name, and then you foster for the amount of time that you can. Let's say, you know what, I can only foster for a week, that works fine, because that opens up space up for a week for somebody, and then that gives us a whole week to, you know what, maybe somebody wants to adopt it within a week, and then it goes to its home, and then, or the rest organizations and that stuff.
Why is it that whenever an animal gets caught and you wanna like take it back out, charge them like a lot of money?
It's a lot of money. Every animal that comes in, it's a $15 fee for impoundment, and then $10 each tier, and then $15 for the microchip. And then it becomes a lot when they've been here a set amount of days. So if the animal has been here 10 days, that's already $100 plus the 15 for the microchip and 15 for impoundment. So if you come for it that same day, you're paying $40 just to pick it up.
Can I add something to what you're saying? Because you're basically also, they're feeding the dogs, and one of the city ordinances is that, well, I'm pretty sure, is that every dog needs to be microchipped, right?
Correct,
And
yes.
so you're paying for all those things to also, you're getting a service here. And I just want to make sure, you mentioned that, I just want to get a full picture, because part of the reason we came is that the city's not doing enough. Why are we doing euthanasia? What's going on? And you mentioned, and like lapses, everything good in the world, which they do a lot of good stuff. But you mentioned Laredo has a very high intake, and we have high intake here. And I just want to make sure that you all, just as from an education perspective, why does Laredo have high intake? We know that we're not spaying and neutering enough. We know people aren't taking care of their pets at home. Like, just so that they're aware too that it's not just because you're going out there looking like, why are we?
It's also owner surrender. It's like we have a certain amount of animals that we can have come in just to the front, And there's people on the wait list for July, so that's how many pets, how many animals we accept, how many animals do you accept per day?
This between 25, 30.
And that means they're just coming to
Daily.
drop off their
Daily.
pets.
So it's a high intake and we can't tell them like, oh no, you can't surrender your pet. So we just go, okay, you can surrender, but you gotta wait to set date so we have space for it. So that would also minimizes the euthanasia rate because we're not overcrowded, we're at where we need to be.
Yeah, and it's also what the ACOs bring to the back, so we have animals coming to the front and the back. You know, it doesn't, we really don't know, the officers don't even know how much, you know, they're bringing a day, so it is pretty much a big amount.
With contained animals, a lot of animals that we bring in are contained animals, cats or dogs, that people set up traps to say there's a nuisance of cats in the neighborhood. Somebody will set up a trap and we'll go pick it up. So that's a lot of the intakes that we bring in are contained animals. Sorry.
I would like to backtrack and ask, what are some of the common signs of rabies in the animals that you have seen?
We haven't came across a case of rabies that I know of here since I've been here. There hasn't been one in
Yeah, last year it was in a band.
a bad,
Yeah.
not bad, but I don't know.
What were some of the symptoms that it showed?
The animal?
Yes.
No, the bat is flying on the day, usually, walking on the ground sometimes. This one was found.
This one was in the day. It was during the day at school. I actually picked it up, but what I meant to say is we haven't seen a rabies case in dogs, but in bat, yeah, it was flying in the school.
Yeah,
I was on
the day.
I was inside an elementary school. I was the one that picked it up. We sent it out for processing. It came back positive, but it's still usually they're nocturnal animals, and this one was found during the day, flying, doing whatever bats do, but during the day. So.
Why is it that the animals have to get microchipped for? Well, that way we know when the animal ends up here, we'll know who it belongs to. And it happens a lot when we pick up animals, they're beautiful dogs and they have a collar and then the owners never come. So that way it ensures that, okay, it's, we know who it's registered to and we can try to like get them back home. To where,
And the owner, like, be able to access, like, the chip? Like, is there a way where, like, we could access the information?
There's websites that have, or if the owner registers the microchip, there's a website will be able to find information. And it's not that we have to do, if there's nothing registered, then we just wait to clear the microchip and it becomes property of the city, and then we can put up for adoption or rescue.
Do you spray and neuter the animals here?
Right now, just for the animals that are here in the facility. So we are working on programs to help the community.
Yeah, next week
expand.
is gonna be a new program we have. We're gonna be doing 500 surgeries, low cost. So you can be paying at least between $70 and $90 for a surgery. It's gonna be next week.
If we were to find an abandoned kitten or dog, do you recommend for us to bring them here or to take care of them ourselves? And if so, how do we take care of them ourselves?
We do, like, we offer fostering, so you can come to us, and then if you need anything, like food, kitty litter, keypads or anything, we'll offer it to you, and then when we have space, you can go in there and bring it in, or you can continue fostering until you find an adoption or a rescue for it. But we do encourage a lot of fostering because it does help. Let's say you find a puppy, sometimes it takes the owner time, a while to find their pet, so when you bring it here, you're taking it away from its neighborhood, and you're more likely, the owner's more likely to find it if you keep it in the same neighborhood than if you bring it here. A lot of people still don't know the shelter exists, so like the older people, so it's always best, like if you can foster for a couple of days, then that helps them also find its owner.
Here's some pictures of the live police events that we've done, and now the clinic and other events when we do like a drive for vaccinations and all that. So that's pretty much also what we do. Adoption specialists.
Yeah, again, the adoption specialist does anything that comes in. She'll help you with she wants to best match the dog to them. And sometimes you find beautiful dogs that don't have like the King Corsals. They're beautiful dogs, but we gotta educate them. Like, are you able to take care of a dog that big? Are are you able to, because they're high energy, or even like with huskies, with the adoption specialist, though she tries to match you with the dog that fits your needs before it goes home. Of course, because like we go with huskies. Huskies are beautiful puppies. They grow and then what happens? Then because people don't know, so we try to educate you as well. Okay, this is some of the needs that the dog has. And then the adoption specialist also ensures that it's up to code with the ordinance. We make sure it's microchip, all vaccines, rabies vaccine, and sterilized. And then again, at no cost.
How can you help? Donations. Donating to the animal shelter, not just here, also over there with VAPS, right? VAPS. And, you know, like she said, you can always foster a dog or a cat. That's, you know, like she said, it's a big help for us too. Adopt, don't shop. You know, if you're thinking of getting an animal, you know, we have a lot. We have a lot here.
And we have all breeds. We have Chihuahuas, we've got Yorkies, Frenchies, Rottweilers. We've even gotten a Maine Coon ones. We've gotten Persian cats. So it's always best to adopt instead of buying. And when you buy an animal, you're not guaranteed it has microchip. You're not guaranteed it's spayed. So that's extra money that you have to put into your animal when you here at the shelter you're adopting, and it's getting everything that it needs to be in accordance with the ordinance.
How much do you normally charge to adopt an animal?
Adoptions are currently free. I believe the adoption before was $134, which is nothing compared to the actual stay and neuter cost here in Laredo.
And what is the process like when can you just like come in here, say I want that one, just take it, or what's it like?
If the animal has cured to 72 hours, then yes, we can. It's cured to 72 hours. You come in and you want. I want this one. We'll look at its medical, and if it's pending anything, we'll tag it for adoption. And then once it gets like maybe the rabies or sterilization, it's ready to go. Then you'll just need the application, your ID, and a utility bill to be able to adopt a dog or a cat.
Also remember, report animals in bad or inhumane conditions to animal control, which is us, to this number, which is the dispatch number 625-1855 or to 311, or you can also call PD. Okay? Any more questions, guys?
I was wondering, from like a personal experience, this happened a few months ago. Like we had the same 3 dogs like in my front yard, week after week. And so we didn't decide to call you all until it became a problem where they were starting to mess in my front yard. But like the first maybe 2 times we called, like no one would show up. So I'm wondering, like, does it take like a certain complaint for you all to come show up right away? Or like we can't just complain if it's just a stray dog?
No, we go to all these complaints. Sometimes the dogs aren't there when we get there, we pass by. Sometimes you guys see them in the corner at a certain house, we'll pass by, we'll get off, we'll call the caller. But we don't see them, sometimes we'll just go on to another call. But we do every complaint that the citizen has, we'll stop.
If someone goes in to adopt a dog, will they get it like the same day? It depends. If the animal has already, depending on the age, if it has a rabies and steroids, they can eat that same day. If it's younger than 4 months, then you'll be able to take it as a foster to adopt, and then once it gets the rabies and steroids, then we finalize the adoption. It all depends on the animal if it's able to meet that same day, or usually it's within a week that you're able to take it.
What inspired you to take this job?
Excuse me?
What inspired you to take this job?
Personally, since I was little, I used to love animals. So growing up, I was like, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be a veterinarian, but I got close to a veterinarian. I mean, I can still get the veterinary job here, like a vet tech, but I actually really like my job. I like being outside. You know, I like to be moving around and everything. And personally, I'm just the only girl officer here in Laredo, so.
You have a love and passion for animals. I was going to be a police officer, we want to enforce this sort of like it, we enforce, and we give animals a second chance of life, and we want to make a difference in the community.
I myself am an animal lover, and what I love about my job is the end result. Because I get to see the whole process from when they come in to when they're getting tagged for adoption to when they end up in their rescue organization with their new families. A lot of these rescues send me updates, and I've seen pictures where the dogs get there and they're meeting snow for the first time and they're in love with the snow. Or we even had like an animal, one of the dogs, there was a tripod and he was missing a leg, and he's running, going crazy in the lady's yard. So that's what I love about it, because I get to see the end result, and that's what keeps me going. Try to find more places, more homes for these animals. I think in the 4 years that I've been here, I've had to have maybe saved over 1,000 dogs and cats here in Mexico.
And I'm a veterinarian in Mexico, so I had the opportunity to work here, and here I am.
Do you guys ever get sad like whenever like an animal just dies on you? Or
Yes, there's some animals that they call to you, and unfortunately, they do get sick or something just happens. Or there's been dogs that you fall in love with them and it turns out like, oh, they have cancer. And there's nothing more we can do, and unfortunately we have to like put down because we don't want it to suffer anymore. So there is some dogs that you just fall in love with them and you just want to help them out as much as you can. Or you get sad when they leave. It's a happy sad because you're no longer going to see them here. Just one of the cats that's leaving tonight, I've been following her. She has kids, she had kittens here, and she's leaving to New York. So it's like, oh, now I can no longer go to her kennel and be like, oh, hi, mama, because she's not going to be there anymore. But then I think about it, she's going to a home, she's going to be loved, she's going to be taken care of. And
Yeah, personally, with the cruelty cases, it would be, seeing how they mistreat an animal real bad, and I personally get attached to that animal. I always do that. I don't know why. When I have a dog in my house, but I'm just like, oh my god, like my dog is living her best life, and looking at this animal is just like, I wish I could do more. But I do by taking it away from that person, But unfortunately, sometimes in those cases, what happens? They get here, we try to treat it and everything, and the animal passes, unfortunately. So that's where I'm saying.
yeah, the good thing about here is that we get to adopt. Cindy has adopted from the shelter, Mr. Solis as well. I have fostered many, many foster babies, and Mr. Gonzalez has adopted his cat as well from here.
And does it ever make you guys like sad, like whenever you guys have to go to a house to pick up an animal because they're being treated very badly and they see the condition that they're in?
I think it makes you feel good because you're saving the animal from the condition it's at. You're trying to help it because obviously the owner who supposedly loves this animal obviously does not care for him. So the best thing is removing it from a situation where he no longer suffers. He's gonna feel, he's gonna be scared for a little bit, but then at the end, he's getting adopted, he's getting rescued, and he's going out to have that second chance.
So like, what are signs that an animal's being abused?
Well, seeing it malnourished.
Or maybe not like physically, but like just like the fact that they're not treating them well.
Emotionally, they'll show signs. They'll be like scared. They'll be withdrawn. They'll just try to stay to the back. I've seen animals shake where they're just so scared. You'll see it like just when you see somebody who's been abused, like you'll see it in the animals too. Like you'll walk around and they will be like whining. They'll just be withdrawn. They won't come up to you, fearful.
When it comes to like when you're going to euthanize an animal, do you have like any sort of tradition that you do before you do so, or?
What do you mean?
It's like some people say like, oh, we're about to euthanize this dog. Let's give it a bit of chocolate. So it's like, do you do anything like that, or?
No.
We're going to start doing that. We're actually going to start doing that. One of the vet techs, I don't know if you saw, there's only one female also as a vet tech, and she wants to start, giving the chocolate, the last kiss to the animal. So yeah, we want to start implementing that with our euthanasias.
Oh yeah, I have another question. If people ever wanted to just come and just take a walk and see the dogs or the animals, would you allow them to, or you wouldn't?
Yes, you're able to come in with one of the kennel workers will walk you, and if you want to socialize with any of the dogs, they'll take you to the socialization area, and then maybe hopefully fall in love with them and you can take them.
Okay, you wouldn't do that like today, or we can't do that.
We are.
Yeah, we are closed right now, but
Or we can
yeah, you can come at office hours. You're welcome to do it.
of a silly one. What's your opinion on giving like human food, like meat, like the leftover grandma said to the dog?
Don't ask me that question because I give it to my dog. I personally give small portions to my dog, and again, my dog is a Shih Tzu mixed with pug.
I guess that's
So,
a question
it's
best for
all
your
good.
vets.
Yeah.
Because each animal is different. Maybe some dogs can tolerate the meat and some can't. Some dogs do have or cats have sensitive stomach, and you don't want to give them something that's either going to make them sick or it can be very toxic to them as well.
Yeah. And certain fruits and stuff are like grapes are toxic for dogs. As well, food.
Is it true that chocolate is really bad for the cows? Or is it
Yes.
a myth?
Yeah.
So are a lot of local plants, like the palms that you have in your house. So be careful. It's happy to me.
Another question. What about like this is more of a question for cats. Like let's just say a cat is born with like a heart condition, but like it's healthy right now. How long does it have to live?
More of a vet type question.
Do we still have time for them to do a tour before it gets too late? Thank you, it was super informative.
Recently, they came out with a vaccine. I don't know where it's at right now in the process, but that would apparently double the lifespan of, I think, cats. I'm not sure if it's dogs too. Have you guys heard that or?
About a what?
It's like a vaccination that that extends the life because of like the liver. The liver cats are prone to liver disease in their older ages, and it apparently like helps.
I haven't heard of that before, but I think a good health depends on a good nutrition. Just give your cat a good nutrition and
Yeah,
it lasts.
that one I heard it's already going through the FDA and it's looking pretty promising that it will pass the regulations. So maybe you guys
If you
might.
take care of your cat good, it's running what, from 15 to 18, you're about 20 years old.
Okay, is there any more questions? No? Okay, thank you so much. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have other business. Is there anything anyone wants to add?
I actually have two business. I just got a phone call with the assistant of
Melissa Figueroa?
yes. She was asking what day and time would y'all like to meet up to discuss more, and if there's a specific part that you all are interested in.
Discuss more what? Like what?
To meet up with Melissa
Figueroa, the council member, but like for the drive-in movie theater?
Yes.
That's something, well, okay. She said whenever it's fine?
I said whenever is fine, but she said talk to them so that we can discuss what days.
I don't think all of us would need to be there, right though?
No, like not all of you, but who would like did this
Who's in your subcommittee?
you, Damon.
The subcommittee can meet, y'all can make a group chat and y'all can discuss more about it and see when is it that y'all can meet. I don't know if you want Karen there. She's talking about Melissa Figueroa, how she told you how she's giving us a date to meet for the drive-in movie theater.
What?
A date.
A date to meet.
Maybe just you can have this to you all go, and then that's it.
And also, when would we like to have it? Like May?
I think maybe towards the end, yeah.
Because in the phone call I said whenever is the most realistic.
Well, our term's almost over next month, so maybe we can, if it's able to
If
be
it's
fast,
possible.
we could do it before it ends, or if not, in the summer. We could still be involved
You
with
can do
ourselves.
it early, like late May, early June, and they can also tell you what dates are available for parks.
Yes, that's amazing. Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to add? Layla?
I have a question in regards to the elderly home letters and us dropping that off.
Okay.
What date was agreed upon? Do we have a date that's been agreed upon?
There
wasn't a date because
Okay.
we wanted you to confirm with that, but I know that we had said that we had told our counselors to make letters and everything.
Okay.
It was just more of something.
We did get in contact with this
Oh yeah, we did get in contact with the elderly home, the one.
Okay, which one is it?
It's the one downtown. It's
It's the elderly home. You know that very tall building, the only tall one in town. It's the Hamilton Hotel. It's
Oh
for
my goodness,
elderly.
that one's so cute, yes.
Yes. We could get in contact with them because me and Damon had emailed them and she said that that's just something more that we have to plan on ourselves. So we can get together and we can discuss a date and then we can probably set a meeting with them and talk about it.
And
No, that's good. Thank
okay,
you.
so just real quick update on the garden. So because I didn't want to do like another garden, just so that more of us would have the opportunity to work on it. Karen was able to find us a spot near where Los has their office. We haven't looked at it yet, but we will tomorrow. So I'll send you pictures on that. But one thing I want to say was, before we start on that, I really want to finish the garden that we were starting over at Environmental, Ruby, because we did make a commitment. I would just need maybe like 3 to 4 of y'all, maybe 5, just so we can go like on a weekend or weekday, whatever. Just like a good maybe 3 hours just to do the planting, the painting that we're gonna do, and that's all.
I think maybe for that, also try to get people who haven't gone or have helped so that they can finally do hands-on.
If you're just interested, just let me know. So okay, yeah, just like text me so that we can figure out like a date that works with everybody.
Oh yeah, so regarding the meeting with the Laredo Council, I already talked with the person that organizes the youth council, and I know they're available this month. We could do a special meeting, and we can do it this month. I don't know what y'all think.
Actually, yes, that's a good idea because we are gonna have a special meeting. I don't know if next week or the following week because the following week because I know Anna where she wanted to give us a presentation and she was gonna come and bring representatives to come speak to us. Yes, and health too. Yeah, that's why we'll meet there. Health is like where we're gonna meet. We'll probably meet in that department. And we can have them as well for public comments to come in and put on the agenda to give us the quick meeting talk that they're going to give us. And then the health and then the other.
Yeah, so just if you could send me the date that we're gonna hold.
Anything else?
Any other
Oh
business?
yeah, and about the AC program, I already emailed. I had it for the meetings. What's that name for the decision? Where I already emailed them, and they haven't responded yet. But I'm gonna have a call on Friday with community development. So that's for sure. We're gonna talk about the program. And did we do a subcommittee for this project? We did or not? Should we do one? Okay. So does anyone want to be part of this subcommittee? Or this project?
We talked about in our last meeting. It's about helping people in the summer because it gets really hot here to help them with ACs.
No.
So,
Yes. Anybody else?
is there anything else? No?
I'll let you know about this meeting.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
I motion to